Hello everyone and welcome back to my new video. Today in this video, why knowing about UK is important. You are watching Thinker's Factory and now let's get in this video. Currently, the United Kingdom is the world's fifth largest economical country by nominal gross domestic product and the ninth largest by purchasing power parity. It has a high-income economy and a very high Human Development Index rating, ranking 15th in the world. It was the world's first industrialized country and the world's foremost power during the 19th and the early 20th centuries. The UK remains a great power, with considerable economic, cultural, military, scientific, technological, and political influence internationally. It is a recognized nuclear weapons state and is sixth in military expenditure in the world. Geography. The United Kingdom, also called the UK, consists of a group of islands off the northwest coast of Europe. It is a unique country made up of four nations: England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. England, Wales, and Scotland also make up Great Britain. Much of the north and west of the UK is covered in high ground, knife-edged mountain ridges separated by deep valleys. This terrain was shaped in the last ice age, when the thick glaciers covered the land. In the south of England, the countryside is mostly rolling hills. In northwest England and Scottish Highlands are dozens of lakes, called lochs. These were left behind when the Ice Age glaciers melted. They tend to be long and narrow, and some are very deep. Legends say that a giant monster called Nessie lives in Loch Ness in Scotland. Culture. The British are the creation of waves of invaders and migrants, including Celts, Romans, Anglo-Saxons, Vikings, and Normans. In the 1950s and the 60s, people from former colonies in the Caribbean, Africa, and Asia came to the United Kingdom to work. Sports and literature are among the United Kingdom's cultural claims to fame. Soccer, rugby, cricket, boxing, and golf were all invented in Britain, and the UK has produced many great writers, including William Shakespeare, Charles Dickens, and Robert Burns. J.K. Rowling, the writer of the Harry Potter books, is British. In addition to it, the UK is known for its multicultural society, with nearly all religions and faiths represented. With a racial, ethnic, and religious jumble, the UK is very open to new traditions and cultures. Catholic Church in England, Judaism UK, Church of England, Islamic Society UK, Buddhist Society UK. Since the UK is such a melting pot, students can feel confident that a place of worship will be easily accessible for most major religions. Nature. About 5,000 years ago, the center of the United Kingdom was covered with thick forests. Thousands of years ago, these woodlands were cleared by ancient farmers, and today, only about 10% of the land is forest. The United Kingdom's complex geology gives rise to a wide variety of landscapes and a range of habitats for its animal and plant life. But it is a very crowded country and there are not many truly wild places left. The most successful wildlife species are those that can live alongside people. Great Britain's rugged mountains, like the Scottish Highlands, offer habitat that is relatively untouched by humans. The country's 7,700 miles of shoreline ranging from all tall cliffs to beaches to marshes that also provide homes for wildlife such as seabirds and seals. Government and economy. Britain's system of government has developed over many centuries. Kings once ruled with advice from a council of religious leaders and nobles. This council eventually expanded into the parliament, which now passes all the country's laws. The United Kingdom has been a leading trading nation for more than 500 years. In the 19th century, British industry helped make the country the most powerful nation in the world. History. The first Britons were the Picts, who arrived about 10,000 years ago. In the 8th century BC, the Celts arrived from Europe and pushed the Picts north into Scotland. In AD 43, the Romans invaded and ruled for nearly 400 years. They built roads, bathhouses, sewers, and large villas. By 6th century AD, Germans known as Angles, Jutes, and Saxons were moving into Britain. The Angles gave their name to England, and English people became known as Anglo-Saxons. From the 900s to the 1400s, England was ruled by Viking, Danish, and Norman invaders. In 1985, the Welsh noble Henry Tudor claimed the English crown and became Henry VII, the first of 5 Tudor monarchs. By the 1800s, Britain was one of the most powerful nations in the world. Trade generated immense wealth, and the country built a huge overseas empire. But the early 20th century was a time of setbacks for Britain. Drained by World War I and World War II, Britain could no longer afford its empire, and most of the colonies became independent. Britain's second thoughts on Brexit referendums. The apparent deadlock in the Brexit negotiations is fueling speculation about a second referendum in the UK. Would such a vote be a robust affirmation of British democracy, or would it be a constitutional catastrophe? This important subject should be separated as far as possible from the question of Britain's relationship with the EU. It is about whether the UK, a country renowned for its system of representative government, grounded in the principle of parliament supremacy, is about to extend a constitutional experiment with referendums that supposedly express the will of the people. For Brexit voters, a second vote could turn them away from any residual belief in democracy. It will confirm to them the suspicion they always had, that the elite, the establishment, London always wins, and they never do. Brexit would drive up support for continental-style right-wing populists and anti-establishment extremists. Many Brexiters oppose another vote because they fear that the public opinion has tilted against withdrawal from the EU, as indicated last month in a YouGov poll. David Davis, the UK's former Brexit secretary in Theresa May's government, once said, "If a democracy cannot change its mind, it ceases to be a democracy." This is surely true. However, referendums are double-edged swords, as several EU states, Denmark, France, Ireland, Italy, the Netherlands, can testify from recent experience. Daily life in the UK. Eating in the UK. It is easy to find good food in the UK, and we have some of the world's top restaurants. Lots of cheap restaurants and food markets are available for students on a budget. It is possible to try food from all over the world, even in small towns. Italian, Indian, Chinese, Thai, and Mexican food are all very popular. Traditional British food includes fish and chips, full English breakfast, Sunday roast dinners, Yorkshire pudding, Cornish pasties, cream tea, pies, haggis, local cheese, and of course, plenty of tea and cake. Supermarkets are good places to find cheap options for lunch and snack to reduce the cost of living. Weather in the UK. Does it always rain in the UK? Not usually. It's often said by laymen that UK's weather is unique. What makes it so different from anywhere else? Whatever you think of the British weather, if you don't like it one day, there's always a good chance you might like it the next. Weather, in meteorological terms, refers to the daily elements like temperature, wind, and rain. And in Britain, they can all change hour by hour and day by day. It's this diversity and changeability that makes British weather so distinct. That is said by meteorologists. While temperatures are fairly mild and there are 4 distinct seasons, you can also get warm weather in the middle of February and freezing rain in the middle of August, or both in one day. The country's fascination with the weather probably won't change, nor will some people's love for it. There is a real beauty about the weather in the UK, says Bentley. Money in the UK. The UK uses its own currency called the pound. Cash machines are easy to find and are usually free to use. You can pay by debit or credit card almost everywhere in the UK. Cash is usually required at very small shops, outdoor markets, some pubs and cafes, local buses, and for taxis. Work opportunities. An international student in the UK is typically allowed to work up to 20 hours a week during school term and up to full time when school is out of term. You should check with your international advisor at your school before starting any work. You do not want to be in violation of your visa, and rules change frequently. Keep in mind that it is not always easy to find a job, so relying on work income to fund your entire education is not a good idea. Unless you have employment set up through your school before you arrive. Exploring a new country. British sightseeing and attractions. The UK is home to some of the world's top museums and art galleries, music venues, and theaters. Outside the cities, there is beautiful countryside and many castles, historic houses, parks, and gardens. Language centers usually organize student social programs, which will include visits to the UK's popular destinations. Typical trips often include Stonehenge, Oxford, Cambridge, London, York, and Edinburgh. Why should you study in the UK? The UK has become one of the top destinations to study around the world, with traditions of excellence dating back hundreds of years, high-class institutions on every corner, and much more flexibility than many other countries. Public transport in the UK. The UK is a small country with lots to see, and it is easy to use public transport to explore. Trains are the fastest way to travel, especially for long journeys. Book your tickets in advance for the cheapest prices. Coaches are often the cheapest way to explore the UK. You can travel between major cities for as little as £5. Airport transfers when you arrive in the UK. If you want someone to meet you at the airport, you can book an airport taxi transfer through your language school. If you are traveling from the airport by public transport, there will be coach services and sometimes a train service. In London, there are express train services. These are the fastest option, but they are more expensive than slower travel options. Diversity in the UK. The UK has a very diverse population. People from all over the world live here. There are many different international communities, and international students will feel welcomed. The UK is a tolerant society, and it is illegal to discriminate against people of their race, religion, gender, sexuality, or disability. Different accents in the UK. There are different regional accents in the UK. A person from Edinburgh will sound a little different to a person from Bristol. Students do not need to worry about this. Teachers and host families will always speak very clearly for students, and local accents are useful, helpful, and friendly. That is all for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed a lot of this information about England, and I hope you're all clever for learning of all the things I taught you. I didn't teach you anything, it was more like me spitting out some information. So have a glass of wine or a glass of water, depending on your age, and comment down something below, and thank you for watching.